I went to my agent last year and said, I want to put a tour together for May or June because it looks like things are going to be opening up by then. I want it to be all outside shows. The big promoters, AEG and Live Nation, they weren't doing anything. They're like, oh, no one's going to be touring until 2022. And I'm like, screw those guys. Let's go to the small independent promoters who need the work.
That's Art Alexakis of the band Everclear. They're coming to town. We're going to talk all about that. I'm Jamie Green, and this is Trading Fours.
I go to Kansas City, here I come. Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Trading Fours, and I've got a really fun and special one, especially with me. My God's sakes, I've got a 90s band, and what's more 90s than Everclear? Such a huge soundtrack of that decade, and I've done a lot of stuff since, and was so excited to hear that Everclear, along with Hoobastank and Living Color and Wheatus, was going to be here next week at Grinders on July 18th. So I jumped at the chance when Art Alexakis said he'd like to come on and talk about it, and I said, hey, let's do it. So much fun. There's so much to talk about. So let's just get started. Here's my conversation with Art Alexakis.
Awesome.
Well, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for being on Trading Fours. And I think, Art, a really kind of a fun place to start is, and I was trying to think this morning when I woke up, what's the analogy for this as the world opens up again? And it's almost like when they made Oklahoma a state, right? And all these people were just waiting at the edge of the border, whether it's Texas or Arkansas or Kansas or wherever, and then they just come rushing in. And I kind of feel like that's how it is with these concert tours. You're obviously going to be here in Kansas City on July 19th or 18th. And so for you guys, what's the calculus? Like, walk me through, like, what made you guys say, okay, now's the time we're going out?
Well, I mean, I wanted to do, every musician in the world wants to tour, wants to play shows right now. Unless you're so big that you don't need the money, don't need to make a living. We all want to tour, not just because of that, but because people want to hear it. We're getting lambasted by fans about coming out there and coming to different venues I went to my agent last year and said, I want to put a tour together for May or June because it looks like things are going to be opening up by then. I want it to be all outside shows. The big promoters, AEG and Live Nation, they weren't doing anything. They're like, oh, no one's going to be touring until 2022. And I'm like, well, screw those guys. Let's go to the small independent promoters who need the work. And we had done a few shows last year with a few independent promoters in various markets, like playing at drive-ins, or a lot of bars would build stages outside and create pods or socially distanced stuff. Now, with the numbers just like going like this, as far as new cases and people getting vaccinated, I mean, there's shows. We started doing shows in April in red states,
Right.
And even in red states, like you live in a red state, but Kansas City is a very blue city,
Very blue dot in a sea of red. Yes, that's very true.
Welcome to most of my life, not California.
Right.
But when I lived in Oregon, it's like everybody's, it's so progressive and liberal there. I go, nope, just in Portland, Eugene, and then really small at the bottom, Ashland. That's the only blue, but that's enough to make the state blue every year by far.
Yeah.
But the rest of the state is super red. Up there with Missouri, to be honest.
The WAGs, and I may be one of the WAGs, the line about Missouri is it's Kansas City, St. Louis, and a whole lot of Alabama, right?
That's so true. But on that point, so a lot of states were opening up, right? Red states were opening up, but the blue cities are like, nah, slow your roll. Ain't happening. We're not doing it. St. Louis, we were supposed to play this date in St. Louis, but the county and city of St. Louis wouldn't approve shows. And Kansas City had just opened up, and they're like, we want that date. There was holds on that date. We want that date. So, and we played Crossroads many times. Now it's called Grinders, after the hamburger place that's on the other side of it. You can tell I've been there several times, right? Like maybe
it's a fun space, right? I mean,
it's a fun space.
Yeah.
It's a fun space. I love playing there. We'll always have great shows. People love going there. That's the main thing, is as long as people love going there. And the numbers inside the city right now are down. And I think the first 2 weekends of sales look really good. So with your help from the podcast, and we're going to do some radio stuff there and everything, I think we're going to have a really good show there.
Well, I'm super excited for a lot of reasons. And obviously, you and
Living Color. Come on. Living Color.
Dude, I have been such a huge Living Color fan for so long. So I saw Living Color. Yeah. I'm sure that was your calculus, right? You're like, hey, I'm asking a band I love. Why not do that?
You know how excited I am to be sitting on the side of the stage every damn night, just about watching Vernon Reid and Corey and all those guys. Are you kidding me? I'm just beside myself. And I love Hoobastank.
Yeah.
I really love Wheatus. They're weird and they're great. But Living Color, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And I love that this is kind of a muscular old school rock and roll tour. And people are stoked about it. And like I said, we've played, let's see, to date, we did 3, 4, 5. So we've done 8 shows since the beginning of April in various places. And people are just losing their minds about seeing music again.
People missed it so much, right?
Haven't you? I have. I mean, just the sound of drums, dude. I mean, you're playing in your cover band. We're not a band that like practices a lot because we all live in different places. If we need it, we'll get together. I have a studio and we'll get together for a couple of days. But for the most part, we don't need to practice. And man, just doing sound checks and just feeling drums. And you're a guitar player, you said, right?
Yeah.
I just went to do you know what the helixes are?
No, tell me what the helixes are.
Helix is like a Kemper or a Fractal. It's line 6 version of
yeah, now I know it. I know line 6 real well. Yeah.
It's like the Kemper. And now a lot of people who are on those other effects are going to the line 6 because it sounds so good. We're all on them up front. We have no amps on stage. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I thought I was going to miss it. I don't miss it. I like how clean it is, just the drums back there. And there's no, I can hear my vocals. I don't have to fight with all the guitars on stage. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it sounds great. Everyone's talking about how great it sounds.
Well, that's great. No, I with my stuff, I have the Richie Kotzen, the amp simulator on my pedal board because I have to haul all my own shit. So the less I can bring.
That's what this is about, dude. I fly with this. I don't even pay for. I just carry it on,
right?
Or gate check it, right?
Right.
I mean, or if I upgrade to first class, I throw it in the thing up there, plenty of room, and it rolls, right? It rolls in the case I bought for it, and we show up and it looks clean on stage and lights up and it's awesome.
No, that's great.
And the main thing is that people just love it. My sound guy, I thought was going to hate it because he's like a purist, like old school. He's like, man, I got no complaints. There's no latency. There's no weirdness. There's no, digital funk to it. It's just clean. It just sounds, they nailed it, dude. They just really nailed it. If you get a chance to check it out.
Well, I already got tickets to your show, so at least I'll get to hear. I already have my ticket to your show. So.
Tickets?
Yeah, dude.
Come on. Really?
Yeah, why not? I'm happy to come out and pay a few shekels. I mean, it's not that expensive. I think it was like, because, I'm doing GA, I think it was like $77. That's nothing. I'm happy to do it.
Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. The industry appreciates it.